All right, Jay, so we kind of touched on it a little bit in the first segment with you. Let's hit on it more here and kind of unpack the risk versus reward. So Sunday, Eagles, Commanders, Nick Sirianni has a choice. He could play the starters and go for the win, and if you couple that with a Bears loss, which they have to actually lose the game, they're the favorite to win, that would give the Eagles the number 2 seed. Now, they could play the starters, and if the Bears win, it doesn't matter, right? They're still going to be the 3 seed. When you think about the decision, how much of it is about the team needs more work, which I think was where Hugh was at, versus the advantage of getting the 2 seed, which would come with 2 playoff games, right? If they win their first game, they're guaranteed a second home playoff game, versus if they're the 3 seed and the Bears win their game, well, then they'd have to go to Chicago in the second round. How big of a deal for you is it seeding, home field kind of stuff, versus the offense just needs more work?
You know what? Seeding is a lot for me because I think it's so much harder to play at the Link than it is in most stadiums. Like, can you imagine the Eagles having to go to Seattle or go to the, Rams? Or like, you want that team as much as you can, 49ers or wherever it is. You want, and whoever wins the division, we're going to have to go there anyway, if it gets to, the NFC Championship. Yeah. But the other teams, you want the Seattle, you want the Rams, you want the Niners, you want that team to come to the Link. And so I think that's very, very important. If you pull and you get Tampa in the first round, or you get the Packers in the first round, or what have you, right? You get that game, and now you want one of those teams to come to you. And then it's and you never know. One of those teams play each other, and now you're back here for an NFC Championship game.
That happened last year, right? The Lions went
down.
You
get what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's very, very important to play this last game, at least until the point. There's been games and things that have happened before where we go in with the starters and we look at the score of a game that matters, and it's like, hey, take your shoulder pads off. Second group you in there, and that could possibly happen.
Yeah, like if let's just play it out. Let's say the Bears go up 21-0 on the Lions. Get them out, right?
Get them out of there.
Get them out of there.
Yeah, they have to play the next week. So the other part of it is the Eagles, in a sense here, Jason, can affect who they play in the first round. I mean, you were talking about, maybe moving forward in the playoffs, right? But they can affect who they play in the first round. So we know the Packers are locked in as the 7. Mm-hmm. So the 2 seed will play the Packers. That's the first round matchup. Now, if it's not the Packers, if the Eagles stay at the 3, they were going to play the Niners or the Rams. So the way the tiebreakers work, even if the Seahawks lose to the Niners, they can only fall to the 5. So the Eagles can only play 3 teams in 2 weeks. They're going to play the Packers if they're the 2, but if they're the 3, it's the Niners or the Rams. How big of a difference is it for you? Because the Packers look like they're falling down. The Niners offense looks like it's rising up, and obviously the Rams have been good the whole year. Niners, Rams versus Packers, how big of a difference is it?
Way different, right? So you know that it's a pass rush that doesn't have Micah Parsons. You know that they have speed, but you know that if you get pressure on Jordan Love, it's a totally different ball game. Now you're dealing with, receivers that are going to have to make tough catches in bad weather, and they don't catch the ball well. They have deficiencies. They have glaring deficiencies, the Packers. These other teams, they have some, but they mask them so well. And do you want to play Matthew Stafford? Do you want to play Shanahan?
No.
And if you can help it, right? But that goes in it too, and that's my mentality, right? I said this last night on the show. Everyone kind of, they are positive because, we're homers. We want the Eagles to win.
Of course.
But the truth of the matter is us being kind of afraid to play the Rams or the Niners says everything you need to know about what we really feel.
It's telling when you think about it.
Well, it's the points. It's the points. And like I've been saying, realistically, our ceiling with this offense is 21 points.
Against a good team, right? You're excluding the
21 points.
Well, no, I mean, the Commanders and Raiders, they got to 30.
Okay, they did, but 21
I think
points.
your point against the teams they've played, like recently they played Chargers, Bills, Cowboys, Bears, right? Like Lions, Packers. I don't think they've gotten over 21 against anyone since
21 points.
Like if you exclude the Giants, Commanders, and Raiders, I think it's the Vikings in October.
I don't think that to be true.
Okay.
However, I do think that there's some glaring deficiency offensively, but I do think the thing that I will say about this team is that they play toward the level of the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that be the Broncos,
right,
whether that be the Rams, they can get to the 30-point range. It's just that a team has to push them to that level. And I think because they have hearts of champions, that their pride comes out and they actually play better in those games. Or their defense goes to a place where they are balling and they force the game lower. You know, so It can happen. This team can win a Super Bowl, but this team can also be bounced out in the first round.
I agree with you. And to me, the most challenging
That
part.
extreme is crazy.
It is true, though.
That is crazy.
I think the most challenging part, Jason, isn't that they can't win any of these games. They can win all of them in the NFC. But can they do this for 4 straight weeks with the way the offense is? That's my biggest concern. Like, if you say, Joe, can they beat the Seahawks? Yeah, they could beat the Seahawks. Could they beat the Rams? Sure, they beat them already this year. Can they beat the Niners, Bears, Seahawks 3 in a row to get there? That's my concern with this offense. It's the every week thing.
In order for this team to have the kind of success we want them to have, the defense is going to have to slow the offense down, like basically what they did yesterday. I mean, they're going to have to slow, like say if you're playing a Seattle and you got to slow that down, you got to slow the Rams down, and allow this offense to try to eat up as much clock as they can.
Well, we got to stay on the field to eat up clock, though.
You need to, and the defense has to make adjustments because this is 2 weeks in a row. Our base coverage on the back end is cover 4. And teams, it started with the Raiders. The Raiders unsuccessfully tried to attack the Eagles in a 3-by-1 look. 3 receivers on one side and 1 receiver on the other side. The shot play to Terry McLaurin in the Washington game where he called on the left side, that was a great scheme by them. And then the Buffalo Bills caught 2 post routes in that same coverage. They knew what was going on. It was actually a cover 6, but similar. And they knew what was going on, and the Eagles haven't made adjustments in 3 games. There's multiple ways you can play this coverage, and there has to be an adjustment. Quinyon has to replace Reed Blankenship if he gets caught up on one of those crossing routes, and we're not doing that. And so they caught that ball twice, the same play to Cooks twice. And then also the pass to Knox for the touchdown, the last touchdown before the 2-point conversion. That was a play from earlier, too. So there are some things defensively that we're going to have to do in order to compete against Shanahan, to compete versus Ben Johnson. We're going to have to do those things.
Well, I mean, if we don't, those offensive minds can make good defense look silly. Yeah. So we're going to have to. Let's go to the phone.
Cam, he get beat.
Just whiffed.
He got beat, and then Saquon get the ball, and he had to spin out of it. He probably made like a yard or 2, but, boy, he was in the backfield.
It happens every play. It's pretty much every play. It's always a run-through guy. It's a guy unaccounted for. For Cam to make the Pro Bowl this year, someone was very, very generous. Very generous. I love Cam.
No, respect. I respect it. I'm not mad. It's just funny.
But they were generous. That's generous. It's like Christmas time generous. When you pull up to the light, you're like, dude, it's Christmas time. Let me give him. I got 50 cents.
I was surprised. Like, speaking of the Pro Bowl, I was surprised Jordan Davis got snubbed.
Oh, it's crazy.
I was surprised Jalen Carter went.
Well, think about this. Jordan Davis has double the amount of tackles than Jalen Carter. Yeah. He has double the amount of sacks than Jalen Carter. He has double the amount of tackles for loss.
It's weird. It's weird. And
the Pro Bowl voting makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, but I get it. I guess because Jalen Carter did kind of start a trend when he spit on Buddy.
So that's why he made the Pro Bowl?